Alright, back to the Unwanted Undead Adventurer Anime Review, episode number 2. Review episodes 3 and 4 for the series. So, after he explains the situation to Lorraine, with the whole thing of him being a ghoul now, of course, she does.
Nikki, we're going out for a while. The bank, gas, and Walmart.
Okay.
You want to go or stay here?
I'm gonna stay here.
Okay.
Anyways. So, pretty much basically, after explaining everything, then of course, well, he needs to get stronger to get more evolved, per se. Because right now, without the cloak, he looks like a decaying corpse. Which, yeah, he points at himself. So, then, pretty much basically, like, he of course gets stronger with his sword. Lorraine basically tests, well, after talking to him for a bit, then he decides to walk into town wearing the cloak. That, of course, he got money from, because the potions he basically made when he was in the labyrinth earned him a lot of money. So basically, what does he do? He goes to give himself a new sword, and the secretary there, which I think is supposed to be the owner's wife, she's a bit shocked, but she's not like afraid of him. She's probably shocked by his appearance, but not like shrieking horror that she, from her perspective, maybe a monster walking into her blacksmith. No, not necessarily. Probably because of his mannerisms, basically the fact he acted human. So he grabs a new sword. Yeah, the fact the sword was well taken care of, the fact it's basically useless now. So he gets a rental. Then, of course, he gets basically his sword get made. Then he proceeds to go back to the labyrinth after this, where in the labyrinth he just happens to come across an adventurer who turns out to be also a chef. And he explores the same area that he was exploring, that he explored back in episode 1. And he wants him to take credit for it somehow. Also, he tells him to stop and look at, oh, the dragon was not here. Where the dragon went, they don't really say at all. Yeah, where the dragon went, they don't really say. So, then of course he goes and proceeds to, well, he kind of basically has to follow him. And, excuse me, he sees the celebration circle, but apparently the guy himself doesn't see it, somehow. But yet, Rent can see it. So he goes and comes across a giant skeleton. Yes, you heard me, a giant skeleton. Where he fights it, beats it, hands the magic stone over to the chef, and then the chef proceeds to have him follow him to the restaurant he has. Well, in exchange for him out, he gets to eat there for free. For life. He's like, sure, no problem. And basically, he basically helped get them out of debt they were in. Because if he can raise the money within a week, he would close on his restaurant. So, how he got in debt, they don't really say. So, then of course, basically, he goes back to the blacksmith shop. Of course, the guy's not particularly happy with basically with the sword, but because he was the ability is divinity. Like, I suspected that. So he figures out right away this actually is Ret, the same guy he kind of knew before. So he gives him another rental, sword not ready yet, and then of course basically he goes home. Actually, after the whole thing with the chef, then he goes home. He goes back to Lorraine. Lorraine, he stays with Lorraine, where he's like, "I had a desire to be with you." He's like, "Okay." And then his mask just shifts to expose his mouth, which is more covered than before. He then proceeds to bite her. And then she knocks him out. He does apologize for what he did, which of course basically it has been, and of course basically it takes up a shirt of it. Oh yeah, he actually just got with scars now. So they confirm he's no longer a ghoul with this episode. Yeah, 4 episodes in, he's already evolved once again. This time to a Thal. Yep, a servant of a vampire. That's pretty much basically what it is. and at least basically his face looks a little bit better. He actually has eyes now. Yes, he has eyes. After when he first became a ghoul, he kind of see, but no actual eyeballs. But yeah, basically now, he can actually see no problem. Yeah, and of course, basically uses power. First, he used fire to heal the chef. They use it on Lorraine, first healing the wounds don't be damaged, and then of course he heals the bite wound because he apparently biting her had him evolve into, because he looks more human now. And then of course the whole thing with the sword came up, and then he's like, I've decided to go back to the labyrinth so I can evolve once again, so he can more. But basically, I would say at this point, him being a Thal, basically he's mostly complete. For one thing, he doesn't look like a decaying corpse now. He looks more. I mean, his skin is very dark color, but doesn't have to wear the bandages anymore. Not really, no. He just needs to keep his mouth covered up, and he's perfectly fine. Yep. Always a really good 2 episodes. Now, the plan right now is to do 2 more, and then it's on to my review of. Then it's on to Unwanted. Okay? So, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Next up, 1 more of this, and it's on Unwanted. Okay? Next video. Bye.